Hey you guys, what's up? My name is Alicia and I am going to move you. So I don't know what will happen. I never really do, but it'll be juicy and just like We will start today on our knees, and you can catch a block if you have one and place it under your bum on the medium setting, or taller if you need. And if you don't have a block, you can catch a pillow or no block, or just nothing. And take your hands to your bum and just lift your cheeks from underneath of you so you sit higher on your sits bones. Bring your hands to the tops of your thighs. Let your elbows gently press forward and wide. Lift up your chin, open your throat, and tap into your breath just for a couple moments to begin. Inviting a deep breath through the nose to the very base of the pelvic floor. In that space below the belly button, deep inhales. And full grounding exhales. Each exhale can soften your shoulders a little bit more. And each exhale waves you into inflation, into this fullness. Allowing these first couple of moments just to bring you to the mat, to bring you into your body and into your breath. And 2 more full breaths. Sweep your arms wide and all the way up to the sky. Stretch way up high. Reach, 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 reach. Connect your hands above your head and then slide them down through heart center. Bow your head. And take a moment. Bring in presence of gratitude, of love and joy. Meow, meow. Please take the block and just place it to the side, or if you're on a pillow or whatever, or nothing, but remove the thing from behind you. And connect the top of the foot. We want to press the top of the foot down and gently drag it back so that we create a low bridge in the ankle. Keep the hips rooted back, wide. Reach your arms forward. Fill through the back of the heart. Lift length into the belly. And then sweep your hands. Catch both sides of the skull. Head presses back into the hands. Let the neck get long and open. Slide your hips wide. Rise through the center, heart to sky. Open up. Hips root back, hold your roots. Rise the ribs up away from the hips, big stretch. Hips root back and wide. Stretch, rise, lift into your length, heart to sky. Sit back, curl chin to chest, rounding through the upper back. And find that fullness into the scruff of the neck, shoulder blades broad, glide your ribs side to side. And think about the low ribs lifting up and sliding back and forth. Root back through center. Hips tack back, let the belly soften long and forward. Rise your heart back up, big stretch. Inhale rises you up. Exhale, sits you back. Big inhale, lift up, lengthen. Exhale, sits you back. And take one more through the center. Rise up. And then release the hips back, arms forward, cross your wrists. Little wrist cross, you can connect into a gentle resistance and begin to glide your ribs side to side. The hips root wide. You can just sort of explore space. Noticing where it feels as you move and stretch. You could even close your eyes here. And curl the chin in. Roll side to side. And the hips rooting back and wide as you explore the length through the belly, into the sides, and the fullness of the back of the heart. No rules, just exploring. We'll soften the shoulders. Take one more moment here. Find evenness. And then release your hands forward to the mat, all fours, hands and knees. We want there to be space for the belly to be long. And the hands can be as wide as the mat or as wide as your shoulders, whatever makes sense. Give some grippiness to your hands, little snuggle. Elbows externally rotate forward so that the elbow eyes face inwards towards each other, and press the mat away. Top of the feet continue to press down, gently drag back. You can use that dragging back energy to slide your hips back and wide. And then begin to find movement, maybe gliding your ribs side to side. Letting this movement be fluid and allowing the body to move you. Feeling the extension through the side body. And pressing the mat away to hold the fullness in the back. One more moment here. And then coming back through center. The wrists are ahead of the shoulders. Press the mat away, broaden through the back. Sit the hips back and wide, tuck the toes, lift the knees, and rise all the way up into hands and feet. Your feet can be as wide as your hips or as wide as your mat. Take a nice deep bend into the knees, sending the belly towards the thighs. Find extension through the back line of the legs, send your butt way up high. The paws, press down and out to the side. There's this connection you can feel instantly into the back line of the leg. Slide the heart forward just a little bit and press down the ground. Really feel that broadening through the back of the heart. Find a gentle sway of your hips side to side and notice how the belly is soft and there's this serpentine motion that can begin to engage. Deep bend into the knees. Send the hips way up high. Feel the length and tone in the back line of the leg. And then ripple your spine forward, curl chin into the chest, rounding through the upper back. Coming forward into almost like a plank-like position. And then deep bend into the knees. Send the belly to the thighs. Root your hips way back wide and high. And then ripple it forward, curling in. Chin tucks into the chest, rounding through the upper back. Moving forward into this plank-like shape. Deep bends into the knees. Hips root high and wide, lengthen into the belly. And then ripple it forward. Finding the articulation of each vertebrae, press down the mat as you roll through the back. Deep bends into the knees, hips root high and wide. Externally rotate the right hand, twist toes and knees to the left side. Bend your knees, slide the hips back, rise, lift and lengthen into the left side body. Find a couple of pulses here, peeling open. Knees bend forward, hips slide wide, soften the belly as you rise into the left side. The chin is lifted, the throat is open, pulse here. Option to stretch your left arm forward and long. Big press reach. Option to connect into a bind, left hand to right forearm. Hips root wide, working into a depth of the stretch, spiral open. Bend, root back, root wide into your twist. Right ribs revolve up towards the left. And take one more pulse wherever you are. And come back through center. Hands and feet. Little deep bends into the knees, heart springs forward. Here, find some stillness. Presence the heart. Press down the mat, really broaden through the back. Paws are connected, pressing down and out to the side. Hips rooting back wide up and high. Externally rotate the left hand, toes and knees twist to the right. Bend the knees forward, slide the hips back and wide, rise, lift and lengthen into the right side. Find your pulse here, bend knees forward, glide the hips back, rise like a rainbow into the right side, chin lifted, throat open, big stretch. Breathing into your extensions. Take a big stretch, reach your right arm forward and long, lengthen through the whole side body. Hips root wide. Big press, reach to open, option stay, option connect into a bind. Right hand to left forearm, slide the hips back and wide, rotate the ribs up. Bend, slide wide, and big open. Last pulse. Come back through center. Hold the fullness of your heart, pressing the mat away to lower the knees down to the mat. Untuck the toes, slide the hips back and wide, ripple forward. Undulating the spine, slide wide, keep the butt rising and high, lengthen into the belly. And then curl it forward. Chin tucks in, rounding through the upper back. Slide wide, hips root back. And then curl it forward, curl in. Chin to chest, press down the mat, broaden. Take one more. Slide the hips back, sit back onto your knees, bring the hands to the tops of the thighs. And take a pause here, breathe. Lifted chin, bringing presence back into yourself. Back into the breath. Lift up onto the knees. Top of the foot presses down, gently drags back. Slide the hips wide, reach the arms forward, broaden into the back. And then sweep your hands, catch both sides of the skull. The head presses into the hand, let your neck get long and open, soft shoulders, full heart. Slide the hips back and wide, rise through the center, heart to sky, open up. Hips root wide, big stretch, reach up and rise. Rise through the center, arc up and over to the left. Crescent left, hold the length through your central channel, hips root back, belly is long, rise up, arc over. Think about expanding, rising, and widening the space on the right side. Head presses into the hand, let the belly stay long, open and expansive. Release your left hand, connect to the top of the left thigh, press down to continue to rise, lift and lengthen into the right side body. Big stretches. Option to stay, option to take the left hand, connect to the outside edge of the right elbow, and drop the chin into the chest, round in. Resist the elbow from the hand, broaden into the back of the heart. Slide the hips wide, spiral, left elbow dips low to twist up high. Finding that gentle resistance to broaden into the right side, hips back, little spiral twists. And then release, sit back onto your heels and breathe. And with your breath you feel. Rise all the way back up onto your knees. Reach your arms forward, broaden the back to sweep hands, catch both sides of the skull. Head presses into the hand, let the neck get long and open, slide the hips wide. Rise through the center, heart to sky, open the belly. Hips root back, belly so long, rise up. Rise through the center, arc up and over to the right this time. Hips slide wide, belly is soft and long as you rise, crescent up and over towards the right. Thinking about puffing wide, feeling that rise and lift through the left side. Release your right hand to the top of the right thigh. Use this point of connection to press the thigh down and find more lift, more length into the left line. Head presses into the hand, chin between the chest, hips root back, big stretch, reach up. Option to stay here. Option to connect the right hand to the outside edge of the left elbow. Resist the elbow, curl chin in. Rounding through the upper back in, feel the shoulder blades broaden and expand as you resist the elbow wide. Root the hips back, spiral up, right elbow dips low to twist high. Work into some gentle twists, resisting the elbow away from the hand, rotating the ribs. Hips stay rooting back, little gentle twists of the ribs. One more. And then release to feel. Hands to the tops of the thighs. Breathe, soft shoulders, lifted chin. Take your knees wide and walk your hands forward into wide knees child's pose. You can melt your heart, or you can take wide elbows with a double fist stack and land your forehead to the mat. To your fists. I like to melt my heart here, but when I have a microphone attached to my chest, then it doesn't always sound the best. So whether you like to melt your heart or not, whether it feels good for you or not, find a place where you can chill, baby. Okay, take one more full breath here. Extend your hands if they're not already. Connect into that grippiness and roll your spine forward. Keep the knees wide just for a second. We're going to take the right foot and sort of shift it towards the left knee so that you can slide your hips back, walk the hands back, and you land in like these ninja chop legs. So the right shin is forward and the left shin is back. You can take your hands and just catch your bum. Pull the bum up, and first we'll take a twist to the left, so to the back leg. And it doesn't have to be an extreme twist. In fact, it's kind of cool to just like take your hands to your ribs and see where they twist. So the ribs twist, and that's a good place to land. And then you can lift up your chin, and sometimes it's nice to kind of like in and out of that little rib twist. Little corkscrew-y. I like to move almost everywhere. Okay, we'll twist the opposite direction. The left hand can maybe meet the right knee, and the right fingertips can land just back behind. Again, not twisting to crank the ribs, but you're welcome to play into some little corkscrews here. Just sort of like moving into a space of tension and then releasing. Gentle tension. Okay, now we're here to do one of my very favorite things, and you might need to move forward a little bit if you have a wall behind you like I do, because even though we don't place this hand back so far, it's actually just going to land pretty much exactly where it is. We're going to pick up the bum and sweep the arm back, lift it up, big stretch. Drop your hips low, curl the chin in. You can tap your left fingertips towards the right, press down the ground to broaden into the back. And then do it one more time. Root the hips back, let the belly soften forward, pick up the butt and stretch back. Reach it open. Breathe. Let's do one more. Sit back and drop your hand down, curl chin in, broaden into the back. And then lift it up, hips rise, stretch, open, reach back. Breathe. And then drop your butt. And we'll take this left leg, extend it long. You can catch your bum again if you need to. Sometimes it's just, the butt just needs to get out of the way a little bit. You can press your heel down and gently drag back so that there's a bit of a pocket in the back of the knee, a tension and tone. And fingertips can land on either side of the extended leg. If you'd like to maintain the alignment of your spine and just work, if this oftentimes feels like a lot for a lot of people, and if it feels like too much, you're always welcome to kind of like invite a block. Blocks are a beautiful thing, and you can just experiment with blocks too, because sometimes they help to release. But this might be a perfect place. This will help you to align your spine, keeping the lower lumbar moving in and the fullness of the heart. You can lift your chin. And also you can work with that digging of the heel down and dragging back. If you fancy direct fold, you're welcome to. Sometimes I really love to play into, well, not just sometimes, but a lot of the time, I play into waves. And so for me, that looks like a lengthening of the belly towards my thigh, and then a curling back. And then a lengthening, and then a curling back. And so any of those options or a combination can feel perfect. So moving into the space that you need to, and that you want to. Maybe trying something for a second and landing somewhere else. If you have the ability to catch your foot, you can press your foot into your hands And you can play with whether the hands meet your paw or your heel and resist into the pressure either way, and it's interesting. Just play into resistance on the foot, hand to foot connection. And deep, full breathing. Okay. Walk yourself up if you're folded, and we'll take the first stop. Left hand can connect to the inside edge of the left leg. Right arm reaches up high and you can arc up and over. Depending on how spacious you are in the right side and the flexibility you have in the left leg, option is to come down onto your forearm. I like to snuggle my elbow into like the knee or into the calf, wherever is available to you, so that I can resist my elbow into my leg to spiral my heart forward, or what would be the left ribs forward. And the same thing would be rising up and reaching over towards the extended legs. So finding a space here that feels nice for you. If you have extra space, you can take your left hand to your right knee, reach up and connect your hand to your toes, maybe. Or the top of your foot and push the top of the foot into your hand back into your foot. Or both, you know, it's both. It's good to play with resistance. It's kind of fun. And in this connection, in this like full bind thing, you can spiral. Take one more full breath here, wherever you are, in that little concoction of many degrees. And then rise it up. And then the last little thing that we'll play into here is walking your hands forward. You can take your hands, well, first stop would be hands. Blocks are nice to kind of bring into play. So hands would be here. Maybe it even looks like this, more upright. You can also walk down onto the forearms. If you have space, you can drop your forehead. And if you have extra space, you can drop your forehead to the mat. And take some deep, full breaths. And then walk your hands back. And rebend your left leg so that you can bring it back into that little ninja chop. Hands forward. And take your right foot back so that you can take the left one, the left foot towards your right knee. And just switch your ninja chop legs. So now we have the left shin forward and the right shin back. And first we'll take a twist towards the right, so towards the back. And maybe you want to catch your bum again. And again, just even bringing awareness to what is the capacity of the twisting of my ribs, and keeping the chin between the chest so that we're not like super cranking, although like maybe a little crank is okay. A little corkscrewing kind of, and just playing into that little tension and release. And notice if as you tense you can keep your shoulder blades broadening and stretching apart. Chin lifted, throat open. Okay, and then switch. Right hand can maybe connect to your left knee, and your left fingertips can land just kind of back here. And again, just working into that little mini corkscrew thing, where we're not really cranking, but just a little bit. mini cranks, gentle cranks, whatever. Just being mindful of your movements and moving with gentleness. And then we'll do these things that are my favorite. Plant your hand down pretty much exactly where it is. And keep the hips rooting back, and then lift the hips up, sweep back, reach. The best. And then drop your hips back down, sit back. You can take your right fist down to the ground and just press the ground. Feel into the back, chin tucks in. And then sweep back, lift the hips, open up the belly. And let's do it one more time. Drop your fist down. Curl chin in, rounding through the back. And one more time, big stretch, reach. Stretch. Hey, drop your bum. And we'll take the right leg out to the side. And with this right leg, you can connect the heel, the right heel down, gently drag it back. So we want to create this little pocket in the back of the right knee and connect into some tension and integrity. Your fingertips can land on either side of the extended leg. And the first place we can land is right here, is holding the alignment of the spine. The belly is long, the heart is full. Lifted chin, finding this dig, drag down and back with the heel. You're also welcome to find a softening into a full forward fold, moving into a space that feels nourishing and kind to you. So kindness is a thing that we can work with when we're working with our body. And sort of a bit of in between of that is what I like to play into is melting the belly in length towards the thigh and then waving back. And so that there is this like conversation going on. A nice little conversation of moving into extension and tension and then releasing into some softness. And maybe you hang for a space in time in any one of those little zones that you've just landed. And breathe. Okay. Walk your hands back. We'll move into a bit of a side stretch. So the first place we can play into is the right hand connects somewhere inside this right leg, and left arm stretches up high, and you can just reach up and over towards the extended leg. Depending on how much like space you have in your side body and in your right hamstring, it might feel okay for you to come down onto a forearm. And I like to snuggle my elbow into the leg so that I can sort of work to resist my elbow into the shin or knee so that I can spiral. Big stretch, reach. Soften your shoulders and soften the neck. And if you have the space, like on the other side, you're welcome to connect right hand to left knee, and maybe your left hand to your right foot for a little bit of a bind. And sides are different. This side feels more tight for me. But so being mindful that they don't have to be the same. And what you can do on one side isn't always what you can do on the other. Be here for one more breath. And then releasing that. The last little variation that we're going to take while we're here is you can bring your hands forward and just sort of lean into a forwardness. And so hands are a variation. forearms are a variation. You can have a block, place your head there to soften. And also to melt is a variation as well. And so wherever you land, just chill. Bring your breath into this space and invite softness. Take one more deep inhale and walk yourself all the way up. Hey, take your leg and bring it back into that ninja chop, and walk your hands forward and unlink your left leg so it's back. You can tuck your toes and lift all the way up into hands and feet. Your feet can be as wide as your hips or as wide as the mat. Nice deep bend into the knees, hips root high and wide, extend through the back line of the leg. The heart is forward and full just a little bit. Shift your hips side to side, little knee knocks through the center. Okay, find some stillness. Externally rotate the right hand, toes and knees twist to the left. Bend the knees, slide the hips wide and rise into the left side. Find some pulsing here. And take a big reach, left arm stretches forward and long. Left hand connects to a bind. Hips root back and wide into your spiral, rotate the ribs. Moving to feel, not to find a position. Keep your hips rooting wide, hollows in the groins. Soft belly, rising ribs. Option to stay, option to slide left foot back behind. As I do, pivot the right toes towards the top left corner of the mat. Bend the knees, root the hips wide, and then open it up. Bend, slide wide and high, and open it up. A couple more pulses here. Find your flow, breathe. Okay, come back through center. If you didn't move into back cat, we're going to pick up the left leg. Heart is forward, eyes look forward. Step the left foot to the left side of the mat. Pivot on the right, deep bend into the knees. Hips root wide, option for your block. Okay, so first stop is hands to the tops of the thighs. You can think about pulling the hips back and wide, rooting the femurs into the hip socket and keeping your butt lifting high and wide. Second stop is this block. And just little kind of gliding of the hips forward and back. Third stop, fingertips to the mat. We want to keep the lower lumbar in its natural curve and the hips rooting high and wide. Pause, connected, pressing down and out to the side. Cool. Okay, right hand connects to the front of or not the right hand, scrap that. Left forearm connects to the top of the left thigh. Root the hips back and wide. Take a big reach, stretch your right arm forward and long. Hips root back and wide, stretch to lengthen. Right hand connects to the top of the head, single crown. Hips root back, right paw digs down and drags back as you stretch, reach to open. 2 more pulses here. We'll release your arms forward and wide, big deep bend into the knees. Hands down to the mat. We're going to shift the weight forward into the left foot, right leg lifts, open leg to the side. Push the ground away, eyes look forward, take a couple of hops. Move with your hips, push the ground away, keep the knees at a 90 degree. Okay, land down 2 feet. The feet can be wider and the heels more narrow, so come into a deep squat. Fingertips forward, little tick-tock. Okay. Plant your hands, step back, hands and feet. A little pedal of your heels. All right. Find your roots, paws connected, pressing down and wide, hips rooting high, knees resist wide in alignment with the ankles. The heart is full. Press the ground away, broaden through the shoulder blades. Externally rotate the left hand, toes and knees twist to the right. Bend the knees, slide the hips wide, rise, lift and lengthen into the right side. Little pulse here. Big stretch, reach the right arm long. Catch a bind. Right hand to left forearm, slide the hips back and wide into your spiral twist. Option to stay. Option to hold the bind. Right foot slides behind, back cat. Pivot the left toes to face the top right corner of the mat. Bend the knees, root the hips wide and high, and then begin to spiral open. Bend, root back wide, and spiral. No place to go, only to feel. Slide wide and high, and then rotate, reach up into the side. Take one more pulse. Release the bind, come back through center. If you don't have your foot lifted, we're going to lift the right foot out to the side. Okay, carry your heart forward, press down the mat, hold the fullness in your back as you step your right foot to the right side of the mat. Pivot on the left, deep bends into the knees. Option to come up high. A little glide of the what do you call these things? The hips, forward and back. Option to have your hands to a block. Option to take your fingertips to the mat. In all of these variations, we work to hold the butt rooting back wide and high. The length of the belly and the lower lumbar moving into its natural curve. Paws resist wide. And you're just sort of working into this juiciness here. And you're welcome to explore. I do. So just where do you go? Moving with your breath and awareness. Connecting into the glutes through the paws, press down and wide. Okay. Rising up, right forearm to the top of the right thigh. And root the hips back and wide. Using the left paw to dig down and drag back, we'll stretch the left arm forward and long. So bend, root back wide, big stretch, reach into the side. It's like this little rainbowing quality into the left ribs. Can connect a single crown, left hand connects, elbow hugs narrow. Root back, peel open, resist your head into your hand. And 2 more pulses. One more. And then release. Hands back down to the mat. Deep bends into the knees. Shift the weight forward into the right foot. Left leg lifts, open leg. Ready to do some little hitch kicks. Push the ground, eyes look forward. So super important to press the ground so strong. And then hop side to side. These can be low. Working to land light. Little spring in the knee. Knees at a 90-degree. Think about traveling with your hips and the legs are just along for the ride. All right, land down, feet wide. Deep bends into the knees. You can take a fold here. You can glide your legs side to side. If it serves you, I like to interlace my hands. Fold this way. I keep a bend into my knees. Weight in the front of the foot. Pause, pressing down and out to the side. If all of that is too much, you can take your hands to a block. Or hands to the knees. Or anywhere in between. And breathe. If your hands are interlaced, release them and bring them down to the mat. Step back, hands and feet. Take a couple of pulses forward and back. Okay. Externally rotate right hand, toes and knees twist left. Bend the knees forward, slide the hips wide, rise into the left side. And take your last couple of pulses here. Next time you bend your knees, lower the right hip down. Let your right arm slide long to the top left corner of the mat. And the left knee can land forward of the right. Arms can reach ahead of your heart and just sort of spiral your heart open. You're welcome to just like make a big star here. I like to connect into a bind, right hand to left thigh. And sometimes it feels more supported to have my fingertips landing above my head and my elbow to the sky. A little twisty bind. Re-extend the right arm long. Roll back onto your side and plant your hand to press yourself back up. Let's just come onto the knees and have a heart melting pose. Keep your hips high and wide. Walk your arms forward to melt your heart down. And take your forehead to the mat. And breathe. Take one more full breath. And connect into grippiness of the hands. And roll your spine forward. Maybe slide your hands back if you need to a little bit, coming into all fours. And find some big rib rolls. And switch your rolls, go the opposite direction. Press the ground away, broaden the back, tuck your toes, lift your knees, rise up, hands and feet. Deep bends, hips high wide, heart forward and full. Externally rotate the left hand, toes and knees twist right. Last little pulses here, hips root wide, rise. Opening into the side. Big deep bend into the knees, lower your hip down. Extend your left arm long to the top right corner of the mat. Let your right knee fall forward of the left. And then open your heart. You can just sort of peel it open into like a star, or you can connect into a bind, left hand to the top of the right thigh. And that might feel more supported with your right fingertips landing above the head, elbow to the sky. Lift your chin and breathe. Roll all the way onto the back. Move to the center of your mat. Catch your knees by cupping them and let the knees pull heavy away from you. So the arms pull long and the shoulder blades are broad, and you can little rock side to side. Chin is lifted, throat is open. Take your knees into the air, reach your arms into the sky. We'll take an active twist, knees halfway to the right, arms halfway to the left, and then kick long like you're reaching for opposite corners of the room. Stretch, reaching, floating, reach, and then bring it back in. Knees to the left, arms to the right, big stretch, reach to open. Feel the length like an elastic band stretching long. Bring it back through center, knees to the right, arms to the left, big kick, stretch, reach to open. And then take it back, knees to the left, arms to the right, big stretch, reach to open. Bring it back center, catch your knees. Option to chill here, rocking side to side. Option happy baby, catch your feet. Can take a little ninja chop rock. Okay, plant your feet behind your sits bones, or just somewhere on the mat here, and fingertips land above your head. Wash your knees side to side, moving twist. If you need anything else, you can catch your toes, you can lift them up, you can spread, go wide, you can take a butterfly. If you need anything else, take it here. And then finding yourself landing heavy into rest. You can take the hands to the bum, spread your cheeks. Give yourself a big hug, lift your shoulders up off of the mat, spread them, and then lower back down, broad, expansive, open. Arms out to the side, palms up or down, you can decide. Press the back of the head into the mat, lift up your chin. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Let it go. And chill, chill, baby. Rest in that beautiful vibration. Moving more fully into your heart space and letting that expand in all directions. Good vibes begets good vibes. And that is the law. I wish you big, beautiful, super massive, fattest fat blessings and all my love. Thank you for practicing with me. Meow, meow, meow. Namaste. Peace, peace, peace.